Welcome back inside the Now Morning Show, ladies and gentlemen. This morning we had it's Tobago Thursday, so we stayed in Tobago. And this morning we're going to be chatting with the Managing Director of Frontier Divers, who's also the President of the Glass Bottom Boat Association and the Vice President of the Dive Association. Mr. Alvin Douglas joins us this morning via Zoom. Good morning, Mr. Douglas.
Morning. Morning, Trinidad and Tobago.
How are you doing this morning?
I'm good.
All right. Well,
pretty excited, pretty pumped.
All right. Well, I'm happy to hear that you're excited and pumped because, from my understanding, Reef Tours are still closed and prohibited. How have you guys been coping and dealing with that situation?
Well, there's no way to sugarcoat it. It's been close to terrible, because if the nation has asked us to make the ultimate sacrifice and stop working for 2 years, I know for the dive sector, we have not been working for 2 years. And there's a few of us on the island that rely 100% on the tourism product. And it's disappointing and it's disheartening that they don't appreciate what we bring to the island, what we bring to the tourism table. So it's unfortunate that we haven't had more assistance than we had. We've definitely reached out there, but unfortunately we haven't had it. Now, the good thing is that the new administration has reached out to the various organizations. I am, as you can see, I wear a couple of hats in the marine sector, and they've reached out to me, and they've already arranged meetings. So hopefully they were going to have a more sympathetic there, and they're not going to destroy the very thing that has made Tobago, that has showed off Tobago and showcased Tobago, which is the tourism product.
Yeah. Now, let's just backtrack a little bit. I want people to understand exactly, like you're saying that people don't appreciate and they don't understand what you bring to the table when it comes to tourism and that sort of thing. And I want you to just do us a favor of explaining what the dive sector involves. Like, what are the aspects of the tourism that the dive sector involves?
Now, the dive sector is one of these niches that was the foundation block of tourism on the island. Even before tourism was a buzz, people come from all over the world and explore our islands. And after a while, when you realize that diving was a unique niche because of our unique ecosystem, there were, in the height of everything, there were almost 21 dive shops on the island. And then over the years, it started to get tougher and tougher. It dwindled to 15, and it dwindled to 10. Just before the COVID, it was approximately 8 dive shops. Now, there are 3 dive shops on the island. So as an industry, we can't call ourselves an industry. Let me give you an example. When I went to a show in Orlando in 2019, marketing the island, on the marine sector, because our marine space and our rainforest is one of the things that sets us apart in the Caribbean as a tourism destination, ecotourism. And if an operator comes to me and say, listen, they want to bring 150 divers to our island. If you have 2 or 3 dive shops on the island, we can't handle it.
Yeah.
You understand? And that is what was happening. They were coming to us 2019 to come to Tobago. So we're begging the administration, keep us alive, because we've put Tobago on the map before, and recovering after the COVID, they would need the tourism product.
Now, Mr. Douglas, it sounds as though the industry was sort of suffering before COVID even happened. What are some of the challenges that the industry has been facing?
It was. One of the challenges was definitely access to finance. In the marine sector in Tobago, because of the poor infrastructure, you find that if we go to any financial institute to ask for assistance, they're not going to deem our assets as collateral because it's exposed. We don't have marinas, we don't have slipway to upgrade, we don't have proper security on the coast. And if a dive shop on average costs over $1 million to put together, and as a local, you've invested 10, 15 years in making sure that you have an international standard. Then you go to a financial institute and say, listen, I have $1 million in assets, but it's exposed. They will say, no, sorry, we can't help you. 20 years ago, 21 years ago, when I decided to start my shop on the island, the bank told me I had to have 100% in the bank before they give me 100% collateral before they give me any funds. I have to cover it 100% because they're not investing in the tourism product. And that was 20 years ago. To this day, it is the same thing. Same thing happens. So it's pretty disheartening to see that the people who are here now, after 2 or 3 years of not being able to work, and we've paid their, another thing that I'm upset about is that, we've seen sectors of the island, sectors of the country asking for more money. They want more. They don't realize there's a sector that has said, the government has said to us, you cannot work. You pay the price. You carry the burden of this pandemic. We are entitled to some kind of an assistance because we've dedicated our lives to making sure, especially the island of Tobago, making sure the island of Tobago is advertised out there internationally. As I told you, a few months before this pandemic, we were in a show in Orlando, marketing the island like crazy. Yeah?
Yeah.
So,
good morning to you,
This is out of pocket, eh?
Good morning to you, Mr.
Good morning,
Douglas.
ma'am.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you doing?
I'm not too bad at all, but listening to you, boy, I'm starting to feel kind of bad because I'm trying to figure out if things are the way they are, what really has happened to the tourism sector in Trinidad and Tobago? Is there even a tourism sector at this time, even though you might have people operating? Are they just operating in silo?
There's always going to be some kind of a tourism. The thing with Tobago is poised Tobago should not have been in this position because we have the best of both worlds, internationally and locally. Mm-hmm. We have 1.3 million of our brothers and sisters from mainland Trinidad eager to come to the island. And at the same time, we have the international clientele interested in our niche markets. So when you put $50 million on the island and you tell us that it's only for the accommodation, it's a slap in the face because the people who bring tourists on the island, respectfully, and I have friends in the accommodation sector, respectfully, it's not accommodation, it's the niche. The niche market, the bird watchers, the divers, the coastal tours, the glass bottom boat. These are the people. These are the entities that lure people to our island. So when you tell us it's only for the accommodation and you will have to fend for yourself until we decide that you are worthy, then it's disheartening. It's a reflection of how poor they treat the tourism sector, and that is why we are not working. If we as a nation invest in what we have, and we have value in what we have, we add value to what we have, and we appreciate what we have, then we will excel as a tourism product. Yeah.
What will it take? What will it take, though, you think, to get things back to a place where we can start to see that growth in the sector again?
It's a long road ahead. I always use the analogy that this is uncharted waters that we are in. The pandemic is not affecting our island only, it's affecting the entire world. But what we need to do is to re-educate the people on exactly how connected you are to the tourism product. Because if you treat tourism like a stepsister in the closet, then it's not going to help you. If you don't make sure the people appreciate, there's one village I like to plug on the island, and that is Castara. The reason Castara is successful is because the entire village is invested in tourism. Everybody from the people who pick up the rubbish to the people in the stores understand how connected they are to the tourism product. But unfortunately, the rest of the island is still yet to get there. Yeah.
Yeah.
So when people go into penny savers, you've been to penny savers.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm sure when you come to Tobago, you go to penny savers.
Yeah.
Now, if people understand the tourism product, they would understand that the very reason why we have the luxury of such a beautiful grocery is because of the tourism. If the tourism failed, you think Penny Savers is going to succeed? You think we would be able to enjoy all these different wines and different products that is there? It's not for the locals. It is for our tourism product. You know?
All right.
So
we
have a connection.
Yeah, Mr. Douglas, we have about a minute left, but I really want to ask before we go, has the reopening of the beaches from 5 to midday, has that done anything to improve your business at all?
Unfortunately, no, because again, we've fallen through the gap. Sorry, they have not. The powers that be has not taken the time to address the people who are the nuances of this situation. You open the beaches, but what about the people who are doing the tours? What about the dive shops? You know, so it's a mixed feeling, and people don't want to take the chance to come over. So for the tour operators, we are still down. We are still struggling. Our assets are still floating there for the past 2 years. It's still decaying. It's still there, unfortunately. Yeah.
All right. Well, Mr. Douglas, I want to thank you so much for joining us this morning and for sharing with us. And I want to hope that the powers that be are paying attention so that they can address the situation directly.
Thank you for having me. Thank you so much.
Not a problem.
Enjoy your day.
Enjoy the rest of your day as well. Take care.